I've got so much to say about our Rangers today, I don't even know where to start. Just have a look at what we're diving into. Rangers chasing a towering midfield beast, while Mohamed Diomande's career hangs by a thread after new Pierre Ekwah developments. That's just the start. Josh Windass is being lined up for a stunning return, while Danny Rohl demands a brand new number 9 to fix our goal-shy front line. Rangers signing striker in January verdict as ace who'd love to play for Celtic again, available for transfer. There's real power moves being made behind the scenes, and some names might shock you. Stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you'll see just how serious Rangers are about flipping the script in 2026. You're no daft. You know it's been a roller coaster of a year for Rangers, but let me tell you something right now. Despite all the chaos, the sacked managers, and the gut punch exit from the Scottish Cup, there's something stirring in Govan. There's a shift in the wind, and it's blowing in with the sound of confidence. Danny Rohl, just 36 years of age and already showing more backbone than some of the past two bosses combined, is standing tall and looking to 2026 with fire in his eyes. After two managers were shown the door, first Philippe Clement, then Russell Martin, and with Andrew Kavanagh's takeover rattling a few cages, folk wondered if Rangers were adrift. But here's the difference. Rohl's not here to babysit or tread water. He's here to build. Under Rohl, the Light Blues went 8 games unbeaten before falling 2-1 to league leaders' Hearts. But even in that loss, you felt something: belief, structure, unity, and now, fresh off a positive morning meeting with the big man Kavanagh himself, Rohl's speaking of a clear idea and a shared vision. You love to hear it. He's admitted there's work to do. Of course there is. Sitting fourth with 29 points, 12 behind the top, isn't good enough for a club like Rangers, but at least now there's purpose. He's got a relationship with the board, and finally the dugout's no longer a revolving door. And listen, that's no small thing after a year where we saw Kevin Thelwell and Patrick Stewart binned. And rightly so. Their summer signings, near enough a disaster, 12 brought in, and you'd be lucky if 2 of them could lace Barry Ferguson's boots. Now, enter the January window, and this is where things get tasty. With the window opening on the 1st of January and closing on the 2nd of February, Rangers are about to be very active, and this time, Kavanagh's opening the checkbook with former Rosenborg and Aarhus sporting director Stig Inge Bjornebye stepping in as a consultant. That's no a token gesture, it's a statement. It's about time we stopped messing about with championship-level punts and started acting like the biggest club in Scotland again. The transfer gossip's bubbling already. And speaking of exits, Joe Rothwell's halfway out the door already, and the likes of Clinton Nisiala, Kieran Dowell, and Rabbi Matondo are set to follow. No disrespect, but they've contributed less than a cold pie at half-time. The rebuild starts now, and the deadwood's getting chopped. We're hearing whispers of a complete squad overhaul, and frankly, it's overdue. The team needs steel, pace, and swagger. No more settling for 3rd or 4th. The Rangers you know, the Ibrox you love, was built on trophies and dominance, not excuses and bottom 6 draws. Now with Kavanagh and the 49ers enterprises backing the club, there's serious cash to make things happen. This January might not just be a transfer window, it could be the spark that lights the fire for a proper title charge next season. Adi, would you accept Rangers selling Raskin for big money if it meant fully backing Rohl's rebuild, or is that a betrayal of the kind of ambition we should be showing now? Right, now sit yourself down and let's talk about what's bubbling under the surface at Ibrox as the January transfer window looms, and there's fire in this one. Danny Rohl's made it crystal clear. He wants a proper number 9, not someone who hides behind stats or flatters to deceive for 20 minutes off the bench. No, he wants a striker who leads the line, causes chaos, and puts fear into every defense from Dingwall to Dumbarton. And let's be honest with each other, Rangers haven't had that sort of presence since Alfredo Morelos in his prime. Now, Josh Windass, Josh Windass, is being touted for a return. Played under Rohl at Sheffield Wednesday, knows the club, knows the pressure, and more importantly, looks like someone who could thrive in a system that needs mobility and aggression. But let's no get ahead of ourselves. The lad's more of a forward who floats, not a classic poacher. He could be a part of the puzzle, sure. But is he the solution? That's the big question. And then Rohl drops a little bombshell in his presser, says he's already got 3 players fighting to be the main striker. That tells you everything about how unsettled that department is. Youssef Chamiti and Bojan Miovski came in with expectation but have struggled to hit the net consistently. Miovski looks like he's playing in treacle half the time, so it's no wonder we're lacking goals, not just through the middle, but also from the number 10s and wide men. Goals win titles, and right now we're just not getting enough. Meanwhile, over on the other side of Glasgow, they're sniffing about for a striker as well, but it's the name that's come up that's really sparked a reaction. Yorgos Giacomakis. Remember him? That Greek fella who banged in 26 goals for Celtic before legging it to Mexico with Cruz Azul. Well, now he's being linked with a move to La Liga side Real Oviedo, but here's the twist. The guy's openly said he'd love to return to Celtic. His words, not mine. He went full hearts and flowers in a recent interview. He called anyone who wouldn't want to go back to Celtic a stupid guy and so dumb. Bold words, eh? Not even hiding it. And let's be honest, if someone said that about Ibrox, we'd be buzzing. But instead, this is a player who's available, a proven goal scorer in this league, and he's practically begging to return to the other side. Now, that kind of talk adds fuel to the fire. You've got Rangers hungry for a proper striker, trying to rebuild and regain some identity in the final third, and then you've got a proven scorer from the past, publicly smitten with Celtic, possibly heading back just when we're starting to see signs of life under Rohl. Makes your blood boil a bit, doesn't it? Should Rangers have made a move for Giacomakis to stop him rejoining Celtic and bagging goals against us? Or would that have been beneath the dignity of Ibrox? Let's no sugarcoat it. Mohamed Diomande's time at Ibrox looks like it's hurtling towards the end of the road faster than a runaway taxi on Paisley Road. And when you break it down, it's hard to argue against it. Brought in with high hopes last January for £4.5 million from FC Nordjylland, Diomande was meant to be the engine, the spark, the modern midfielder Rangers could build around. But instead, what have you seen? A player who's struggled with injuries, discipline issues, and now can't even get into his national team's AFCON squad. That's a scathing indictment of his form, especially when you consider the Ivory Coast are hosting the tournament. And now enter Pierre Ekwah, the lad's in the headlines because Rangers have begun serious negotiations to bring him to Ibrox from Saint-Etienne. It's no a straightforward deal. Ekwah doesn't even want to be there after they triggered a permanent clause against his wishes following their relegation to League Two. There's legal wrangling still to be sorted, but Rangers are watching it all unfold with serious intent. And if that deal goes through, you can write the final chapter on Diomande's Rangers story. Let's be honest, Diomande's been posted missing in games far too often, sent off twice this season, rash in the challenge, and when deployed in a more advanced role to avoid defensive disasters, he's been ineffective going forward too. That's no just bad luck. Yeah, that's a player not cutting it. Meanwhile, Connor Barron and Nico Raskin have stepped up in recent weeks. Rohl's been consistent. He wants control in midfield, he wants structure, he wants balance, and Barron provides that. Raskin, when given a freer role, shows glimpses of class. Where does Diomande fit in this? Right now, he doesn't. And Ekwah, he might not have played since May, but this is a player shaped by Chelsea, West Ham, and Sunderland. He's physical, he's disciplined, and he's got that bite in midfield that Rangers have been crying out for. If he lands in Govan, Rohl will finally have a midfield trio that matches his vision, and Diomande will be surplus to requirements. You can't carry passengers in a Rangers team, not when you're chasing trophies, trying to wrestle control back from Celtic and rebuild under a proper manager. Diomande's had nearly a year to show he belongs at Ibrox, and so far, he's offered more red cards than moments of real quality. Should Rangers cut their losses and bin Diomande in January, or has he been unfairly treated and deserves one last chance to prove he can wear the jersey with pride? Now, this is the kind of rumor that makes you sit up and start dreaming about what could be coming to Ibrox. A proper midfield presence, young, hungry, and built like a Norwegian oak tree. I'm talking about Jens Hjerto-Dahl. It's no just paper talk either. Rangers are interested, and Chris Jacks confirmed it. The club's been tracking the big lad since the summer, and as the January window creaks open, the timing feels spot on. He's 20 years old, already turning heads in Norway with Tromsø, and by all accounts, he's not just a midfield enforcer, he's a future leader. Now let me paint the picture for you. He stands 6'4", calm on the ball, physical off it, and tactically sharp. This isn't some raw project you need to wait 3 seasons for. This is someone who could walk into the Ibrox dressing room and instantly raise the standard. Luis Pimenta, his former national youth coach, called him a future leader. That's no small praise from a coach who's seen top-level talent come through Scandinavia for years. And if you watch that match against Hearts, don't lie, we all did, you'll know exactly why we need him. Diomande, Raskin, and Barron all went missing when the heat got turned up. The midfield was too soft, the passing was labored, and there was no bite, no control. Now, imagine Hjerto-Dahl slotting into that engine room with his frame and his calmness. It's no exaggeration to say he could transform that part of the pitch overnight. But here's the catch. Rangers aren't the only ones sniffing about. There's interest from England and Germany too. That's what happens when you're after top young talent. Tromsø reportedly wants over £3.5 million, but if you ask me, that's daylight robbery in our favor. That's the kind of fee you pay now for a player who could be worth triple in 2 seasons if he hits the ground running. And let's no pretend Rangers can't afford it. The 49ers enterprises and Andrew Kavanagh showed in the summer they're willing to put their money where their ambition is. £20 million in net spend? That wasn't a fluke. If Hjerto-Dahl is the midfielder Rohl believes he can build a spine around, you go get him. No dithering, no deadline day drama, just action. He won't fix everything on his own. We still need a number 9 and probably another centre-back, but bringing him to G51 would send a clear message that Rangers are no longer reacting to failure. We're building for dominance. Should Rangers outmuscle English and German clubs to land Hjerto-Dahl now? Or are you worried the club's gambling too much on another young prospect when experience is what's desperately missing at Ibrox? That's the video for today. Make sure you leave a like to show the strength of our Rangers here on YouTube, and drop a comment letting me know what you thought.